they're going to be able to answer yes to more than one question. So, show me the chart again. I would focus on the clues. Instead of saying, is something being compared, is something being described, I would have them focus on the clues and be like, are there a lot of examples of one type of thing? Do you see the words also, both, or in contrast? Like the questions would be based around them looking for the clues, because that's the thinking job they actually need to do.
So then these clues make sense, and be like, is there a problem that needs solving?
Mm-hmm.
Are there events described in order?
That makes a lot more sense.
Do you see this? And then they'll both be like, yes or no, we can figure it out.
And that way, if it doesn't say because or as a result of, they can say no, one event does not lead to another.
Okay.
It's me already?
Yeah, sorry. Thank you.
Alright, don't worry. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
I actually realized since I haven't taught a class this year, it was always my thing to say good morning, good morning, good morning, and I haven't said that in quite a while. So hopefully everyone had a great break. Quick icebreaker. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up and why?
A veterinarian, because I loved animals, and I figured out you had to put animals to sleep, and then I didn't want to be a veterinarian.
Oh my God, that's exactly where my daughter is in life right now.
Yep.
Right.
Veterinarian for a
Crisis.
large portion, then realized what that meant, then was like, never mind. Then I wanted to be an architect. Then I realized
That was mine.
Then I realized I was bad at math and not that creative. So then I got
Wow, lots of dream killers in your life.
Journey, yeah.
Anyone jump right in.
Mine was an architect as well. Just didn't really like physics that much, so out of that one.
I wanted to be an actress, and I still want to be an actress when I grow up. But I was afraid of my parents saying, "You're going to be a terrible waitress," so I didn't. I just did community theater. and then I minored in speech comm because I could take all the drama courses and do the performances and still have a degree to show for it.
That's cool.
That was like marketable.
My current dream job is to be a ski bum.
To be a what?
Ski bum. I literally just want to spend my life skiing.
Meg Lally.
I want,
ELA teacher turned ski bum.
I want to be a mayor, which is still my goal.
Nice. Of what city?
Houston.
Mm,
And I
it's
want
not
a
bad.
foundation to do
That's a big one. What about you?
It was a combination of chairman of the International Olympic Committee and take over for Jay Leno, but someone's already taken over for him. So now I'm a teacher? Question mark. Any shout outs from the week?
From last week?
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was
I
like a
know.
weekend ago.
Or today or anything. Lots of good positive things happening.
Does it have to be ELA related?
Nope, can be anything.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Caldwell for being the only teacher on the 7th grade team who had bathroom passes printed for homeroom and was not clogging up the copier with 7,000 copies this morning.
Nice. Nice. Just shout out everybody for always being open to thought partner and answer questions as we go.
Okay, I think I'd build off of that. Shout out to the whole team. When the woman from Wheaton was here, I followed up with a little bit with each of you individually, but it was good to know that we're not completely shitting the bed yet.
Yes.
So, yeah,
But
there's
also
always the yet.
Optimistic.
There's always the yet. But no, she had some really good feedback, and like she was the impetus to talk about like the popcorn reading versus the different ways we read within the classroom. So yeah, that was really fun and great to know that we're somewhere in the right direction. Anything else? Alright, I promise to get us out of here by 10:15, so that we're only doing these 30-minute segments. Today it's gonna be a little bit more formal than we've done in the past, and we'll focus on a focus area, and then today we'll practice on that focus area. I'll do a bit of a example teach real quick. But I did like this quote from Toni Morrison that Hobble gave to us. There's a book you want to read, and it's on the back of the wall right there. Thanks, Ms. Furman. But it hasn't been written yet, then you must write it. And I think that builds to how we get our students excited and that joy factor, but also we haven't figured out how to teach English at a high rate yet that's beating the state, and that is our goal. So I think that's a fun way to look at that. And they are aspirational
Did we not beat the
goals.
state last year?
What's that?
Did we not beat the state last year?
I'm unclear. I'll have to look at the data specifically, but that's the goal going forward. And I know they are aspirational, and there are some people in this building that did beat the state, but as a department, no department has fully beat the state, and that's definitely,
Did we get a data breakdown like science did with like each grade levels?
I give that to you. Yep. Did Rachel ever send that to you?
My fourth grade deep dive?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Only one kid in the entire grade got advanced.
Oh, which one?
That's one.
One,
Which one?
Ikea Lagarde.
Little Lagarde?
There's two of them. Very big difference. One
Both
of them,
related to
one of
Lagarde?
them,
Michael
but they're
Lagarde?
twins.
That's so
One of
funny.
them did it.
Aww.
All right, and I think that we've been throughout the school getting frustrated with how difficult some of the curriculum is, and lots of different meetings and development and progress. But we do know that with us and with our kids, if we're not struggling, we're not going to get better. And even as just like a personal note, the last few years when I was in 6th grade, I felt so comfortable that I needed a new push, and I felt like I stagnated at times. And knowing that we constantly have to push each other is a good feeling. So why do we have these PLCs? Joseph, can you read this for me, please?
We have to develop into the teachers our students deserve, period.
At the end of the day, we've got 1,000 things to do, but these PLCs are incredibly important if done well. And I will own that as well. And Christine's gonna start helping me soon. And if they're not planned and purposeful, then we're not developing the teachers that we want and the teachers our kids need. So at times when you think or you have some questions about purpose, please reach out and open to any feedback you got. All right, we need you, blah, blah. Today's objectives. We're building a vision for annotating jobs, which is making thinking visible. That was everyone across the department and the people that I coach in social studies. That is our action step for the week. So today we're gonna give some tools and an actual breakdown from the region as to how to do it. And we're gonna start scripting our before reading exemplar section, which is where we set up the launch, the engagement piece, and then exactly what we want our students to be doing. So, we analyze anytime we look at this stuff and when we're planning, we've got our vision of excellence. So if you look in your packets that I gave you, if you turn to the 3rd page, it says read for just enjoy VOE, and it has a CFS for exactly what students should be doing throughout all times and what teachers should be doing, which I thought was incredibly helpful last week when they talked me through this. And this is what we should be looking at when we're planning our pre-reading. So take 30 seconds, read through. I would go all the way, let's just do these first 2 boxes here, and that's what we're gonna focus on right now. So take 30 seconds, annotate anything you find important. What should students be doing, what should teachers be doing? This is definitely one of those times where I annotate the verb. Seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Upper Academy. What do you notice under students CFS? What should we be looking for? And these are like the big things that when we talk about our MVP directions, as I give my directions, I scan, this is what I'm looking for.
Well, from the student CFS, I don't know that I have an answer for that specific question, because it's interactive. Demonstrating interest in the topic and participating in questions. So it's not as much for me about MVP directions, it's about interacting and recalling text.
Joseph, you got anything?
We're looking at the first 2, right?
Yeah.
So join the reading too?
No,
Or
just the before.
Oh, okay, got you. I read both. participating in the questions about the topic are like vocab, just asking those questions right then and there on the spot.
Yeah, I think this one is very simple. Are kids engaged in the topic? Do they know what they're supposed to be doing? Don't overthink it. There's 4 boxes there, you can break it down to 2. Are they engaged? Do they know what they're doing going into the reading? Lower Academy, teacher moves. Joey.
I think the important thing is that it's stuff that can't be inferred. So like, for example, tomorrow we're reading a nonfiction article on a woman who runs track from Afghanistan in the Olympics, and like, that would be literally like, where is Afghanistan? It is a country. This is like, why did she have a headscarf on? And like, this is like,
Great, because I'm about to do a practice teach up that lesson for you.
Yay!
well, almost seven you did that, the lesson was not you, the actual lesson they'd written didn't make sense.
The copies were messed up. Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah,
But whatever.
but anyways,
Sorry,
yeah.
Hannibal.
So, doing, it's just like some of those big literal understanding, like what do you need, like that whole like piece of we have a second yelling class, cause kids need context to understand that reading, that's like our shot to do the 5-minute speed version of like whatever we're doing today.
Sir?
So I think like background and excitement would be the two. It's
Yeah.
like getting them pumped up for it.
I think the thing that is the biggest piece, and this is my favorite piece of the lesson, is the excitement piece. And we know that if kids aren't excited, they're not going to give any rats about why we're doing it, so we have to set that up ourselves with us being excited. And as we go into different, like, I thought you all did a phenomenal job with feudalism. I would have not known how to make kids excited, but you guys did a good job with that. You with Bud Not Bud, you with crossover, it was easy to get them excited. With the Babe Zaharis one, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. Bud Not Buddy, you've already gone through the struggle of getting them excited and did a really good job, so I think that is our focus right for this week. So when we look up here, we're focusing on our launch and our read for Just Enjoy, so just that one literal reading to start with. All right, I'm going to try to do a real quick introduction, and what you'll be looking for is me setting up the launch, and then setting up the MVP directions, what our thinking job is. So it's gonna be a little quicker than maybe I would normally do, but those are the things you're looking for. And if you look in your packet, you have your CFS. What am I doing correctly? What am I not? And then if you turn to the next page, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but for time's sake, we're gonna kind of combine a bunch of these. I love this. It's kind of the framework for introducing both. You go from launch into this. So if there was another line on this, at the top it would be launch, genre, set purpose, annotation job, etc. And as you're planning, this is what you should be going through. So yeah, I'm gonna combine a few things to make sure we're out of here by 10:15. But here we go, and this is the article that they'll be reading tomorrow. Jordanian, this is Parker, you may have already read this one.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a Jordanian refugee, and she talks about how soccer is impacting her life in the United States. And I think the big piece we want here is we don't want to give them the answer. You want to actually have them dive in. And actually, it's fine if some kids like, oh, it impacted her negatively. You might be wrong, but don't make them automatically assume that soccer has had a positive impact on her life. Questions?
Do you want me to
All right.
turn the hobble?
It's already filming back there in this awkward camera. All right, and scene. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's try it again. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
As you guys know, first of all, fix our posture. As you guys know, I love soccer, and this summer I had so much fun. Sit down, sit down, sit down.
There's a child lurking in the doorway.
You got me off my game. Anyways, as you know, this summer we had the Women's World Cup, and the women made us so proud winning the World Cup trophy. Just the other night, I was watching Serena Williams at the US Open, and women athletes in this country are just killing it. But then when you think about it, I was just reading another article this morning and listening to a podcast about how the US women's team questionably is paid unfairly compared to the men. Serena Williams, is she paid as fairly as male tennis players? So women in the United States, even though they're all over the commercials, they're on the Wheaties box, or all these things, they're there's still some equity there, meaning some unequal treatment. So today we're going to look at a completely different part of the world and women in Jordan. So if you look at this map here, does anyone know where Jordan is? Oh, Miss Furman, where's Jordan?
It's on my shoes.
Oh, no, not Michael Jordan. Jordan is a country in the Middle East. And we're going to be focusing on the Middle East right here, which is where countries you've known of, Iran, Iraq, all these Middle Eastern countries, and how women are treated. And specifically, we're going to be looking about this woman who's an athlete there. And although we have problems and issues with equity in sports in the United States, it's actually completely different in Jordan to a different degree. We're going to be looking at the impact that being a female athlete in these countries has on these people. And we're reading a nonfiction article. When we read nonfiction articles, we pay attention to the topic and what the author is trying to make us think about that topic. We pay attention to the what?
Topic.
And what the author is trying to make us
Think.
about that topic. So today we're reading about this woman and how her circumstances impact her life. When we talk about circumstances impacting, there can be good circumstances, there can be negative circumstances, there can be neutral circumstances. So I want you to look at all three and try and figure that out as we go. So, when we read in just 1 minute, 3 expectations. How many expectations?
3.
Eyes on text. Eyes on what?
Text.
Voice level 0. Voice level what?
0.
And your pencil is to paper. And as we're reading our annotation job, we're looking for how her circumstances impacts her life. So you're starring or underlining any evidence that shows how her being a Jordanian refugee impacts her life. Not just in sports, but overall. Christine, what are we annotating for?
How circumstances affect her life and overall.
Excellent. We can star or
Underline.
excellent. Eyes on text. 2 minutes. Voice level 0. Annotating. And
Woo!
this is really awkward. Could have just said, what did he say? But yeah, if you want to turn and talk with an upper academy and lower academy, then we'll come back. 30 seconds. What did I align with our vision of excellence? Well, what did I not align with? And then what was the thinking job and what was effective? So the questions are up on the board. Take 30 seconds to reflect on these. Go. Voice level restaurant.
Do you have another copy?
Yeah.
I like to use the second purpose for each genre. I never thought about that before, but being able to, so like when we read a novel, like this is something we do, which is very much like I was saying, like the day we're trying to describe how characters change over time. It's like
You can never really, like you tell kids to read, you have to be sure that when you're reading it, it's nice thinking about that
This is my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah,
Like, why is no one not giving this to me? They get, and I have my copy literally from Coaching PD where I wrote all my notes.
Yeah.
Which I think if we just make 1,000 copies of this and this is in our lesson plans, it makes so much sense. Yeah.
I'm not making copies of this shit.
Yeah, do you have a digital version?
Yeah, I will. I'll send it out.
Because
Yeah, this is super, I feel like that makes it pretty streamlined. So I don't know, maybe just a bunch.
And back to me, I already hear there's a question in 3, 2, 1, upper academy. What we got?
the question, because we really thought the thinking job and the annotation was effective, but trying to problem solve around what to do when students already have like the hard copies of the books and we don't want that done for the next class.
Yeah, I think, yeah, like there's a, but we'll get to this in a second, but yeah, that's a big question that the coaches were talking about, and we've got a couple of different ways we can solve it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
What else you got? Other than I'm way too wordy and need to use economy of language.
No, you showed excitement personally about the topic, you connected it to you, and because of that, then that made me excited about it because it interested you. You definitely provided background within the excitement, and connected it to the article so that I made that connection. And, the MVP directions were super good.
I thought that was where's way too wordy. They said they'll make 3 different ways.
I was gonna say, you did multiple changes, understanding.
You got anything, Joseph? Or Sarah? Anything?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it was super effective when you like make them restate the agenda for the day, so it could be in the back of your mind that this is what we're looking for as we're reading.
Mm-hmm. Furman, anything?
Yeah, I think just like curiosity as with them about like other ways to annotate, I mean, we're doing like charts and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
or I guess would be helpful.
I think one growth area for me, and I've seen it across the school, is like the launch. I can be as excited about pay equity in US soccer as I possibly can. I then connected it to the article, but I don't think I know I did not connect it to our overall like Babe Dickerson Zahara, so I think it should have been launch, nonfiction connection, overall connection to our current unit right now. Like, oh, and we're gonna be reading about this this person from another country, this immigrant that came in, who's also an athlete, and let's look for similarities and differences. I think that's the moneymaker right there. Excitement, today's article, connection to the text, would be the thing that, among many things that I would change. All right, so questions around the annotations. Y'all are just perfect right here. How do we make thinking visible when we've got novels and you can't write in them, or try to kill us? So, really simple, it's reading with a pencil. It's not that simple, I'm joking a little bit, but that's what they're saying. It's
We're all
not
like
that
very
simple.
nervous about
Because-
where is this pencil?
It slows down the reader to get better understanding, but so many of our kids just write way too much, and they don't know. So this is the whole purpose of like the making thinking visible. What exactly is the annotation job I'm looking for? So today I was very explicit. Impact on her life. Impact on her life. Star, underline. It can look like writing. It can be circles. It can be star. And you've got to figure out what works for you. I think over the next week, as we observe each other, deciding what do we think is working best and what is best practice, and then using that together. But it's basically we're reading to deeply analyze the text. Remember, our first read is always just we're looking for the literal. Joey said it best, you're not looking for an inference. You're just looking for the literal in that piece. So this is an example of a 7th grade lesson where, and Sarah did something similar to this in one of her packets, where she creates an annotation guide within the packet. And if you just have it, I can literally, I've seen it done where there's boxes and it says pages 5 to 7, here's your box to annotate with a criteria for success. Pages 8 to 10, here's your boxes, criteria for success, what to annotate. And then you can also add in some questions, and we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, what's up?
I have a quick question about how I can apply this within like the next 10 minutes.
Great.
I have those 3 things up, like the characters, the setting, but instead of conflict, it says plot. And I had the plot like first, then last, and it was just for pages 18 and 23, but I don't think that my what to do directions were like clear, because we had never done this before, but I was like, they need to know this.
So what part of the plot do you want them? If it's the exposition,
I want them to get to the point where, hey, there's this fire, the wind is pushing it this way. Finally, someone told the people to ring the alarm to bring help.
It's problem solution.
Problem solution. So
It's a
what's the
conflict,
problem?
yeah.
What's the solution? Got it. So they're reading pages 18 to 23. They have 10 minutes to read those pages. Any characters you see, jot them down. Where were they? And I want you to identify the problem and how they solved it.
Love
Simple as that?
Yeah, that's good.
and even if you don't have it in
Yeah,
your
that's
packet, write the CFS on the PowerPoint. So that they know, and you can go around and you know exactly
The
what to
document.
look for. Yeah, or on the document.
Okay.
And I would even go around and just, okay, I see a problem, you still need your solution. I
Alright.
see 3 characters, you should have 5.
Let's go, let's go.
Alright.
Thank you. I was kind of not winging it, but like, it wasn't as clear first class.
Yeah, and I think it's just monitoring your comprehension. Very simple. As you go around, if I can't tell they're understanding it, then either my directions are wrong for annotating, or they're not understanding it.
Right.
One of the two. Or they're just lost not paying attention. This is the biggest thing that I hate about annotations is they can distract. So if you have a kid just underlining everything, go back, say, why did you underline this? But have those questions built into your exemplar. Why did you, or what is this problem? What is the solution? Like very literal questions to make sure that they underline this for a reason. Is this showing a problem? Is this showing a solution? Is this showing a character? And for you, I'd even maybe do circle characters.
We can't circle in the book.
Oh yeah, write them down, yeah, you're right. But if we did have like the nonfiction text for Joey, she could easily, yeah, she could easily,
Finish our first book.
yeah, but in her article for tomorrow about this Jordanian refugee, she could easily do circle character or circle people, that's nonfiction, and then underline or star conflict and solution. Or whatever the schema is for that one. All right, we already went over this, but this is your script. You go from your launch, you name the genre, and on this paper, it literally tells you I don't know if you saw, but I literally was just looking down at this and have all my notes on here, and I have nonfiction. Whenever we read nonfiction, we pay attention to topic and what the author is telling us. It's ELA for dummies right now, is exactly what this is, and it's built in. So don't be robotic, but this is when you're planning your launch and your thinking job, this is what it should look like. So I will also make posters of these for anyone that would want one. Or Sarah pointed out maybe making just a laminated copy for clipboards.
I want one.
I will absolutely do it. And I think these are the 3 questions that we should be looking at. It's just a simpler way. What should we be doing while we read? Where should our eyes be? What is our noise level? That's another way of saying MVP directions. Very simple. And if you look right here, here's an example of a text, and she's got the questions right down here. Those 3 questions, as she's planning it out, that's what she should be, or he should be thinking about every time. And if you look, the colors are aligned to the parts of this beautiful graph. All right, it is already, I promise y'all, I'll be out of here by 10:15. It is 10:15. If y'all can send me your exemplar for your next lesson with this in mind, or if you want to wait till Thursday, because a lot of us have already got our Wednesday exemplars created, and just put this into it, so that when we walk around on Thursday, I'm going to meet with each of you individually, and actually it's going to be a co-observation where we're just looking for this. Thursday, I'm 5th grade, I love you. But Thursday is my ELA day, and we're just looking for how this is living and breathing and giving feedback on these areas.
So the feedback on Thursday is from the observation on Wednesday's lesson?
Feedback on Thursday, no. Thursday, I'm going to meet with each of you for 20 minutes, where we're going to choose a teacher to go observe, whoever's teaching, and we're going to be looking at this together, so that both I can get better, and we can get better, and we can give everyone feedback. Yes?
We all teach at the same time.
There's some periods where you're off electives, some of us are off differently, so like, yeah, Joey's off 2nd period and then off again. Yeah, I will send out the schedule for that.
Okay.
And just make sure, I'll send out this morning so that you guys can check that it doesn't overlap with any grade level time or anything like that.
You see what coffee does to you?
Yeah.
I haven't had any caffeine today, but I feel like I'm on my
can't sit
battle.
still.
You're awake, get ready.
All right, guys, thank you.
It
If you
literally
can
happened
scan
when I
your
walked in.
exemplars for whichever one you're gonna do and send them to me, I appreciate it. Thank you.